Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video I am doing a tutorial on invisible locks. So I started off my hair by parting it into 3 sections. I parted it horizontally first and had one big section in the back, and then parted the half that was in the front in 2 vertically, and that way I would have one part on each side. And then that's where I went ahead and parted rows. So you can see in the back I've already done the top row, and in the back I did 3 rows going across, and in the front, as you can see here, I did 4 rows. So I did 4 rows on each side for 8 rows total. And then I went ahead and divided it even more into smaller single twists, and then I just twisted everything to make it easier. And then you'll see with each box I will divide that in 2. And then for what you'll actually need to do this style, you'll need some sort of clips. I've seen a lot of people use the silver flat metal clips. I didn't have those, I just had those bigger ones. And then you'll want some type of Afro springy hair. I got mine from Xtrend, and it looks like that. That's I've already used a few of the pieces there, but these it comes with 10 kind of pre-parted pieces, and then with that 10 you get 8 packs. And for the back I separated each 10 into 2, and then when I got to the front I actually started using 2 pieces together. And so you'll see here that I'm going through with a pomade. So you can use any type of pomade or gel that is good for holding. You'll want a strong hold, and then you will go through with it. Make sure that it's saturated to an extent and that it is smoothed through, because if it's not, you will start to see clumping and possibly even some flaking. And then all you'll do is a flat twist. So you'll just roll and make sure that you're actually rolling it to the hair, to the base of your head. And that's what gives it that rolled effect. And that's where the name invisible locks comes from, because this is the same type of effect that when people with locks go to get their hair retwisted, it looks. So it's not the same method exactly, but we're mimicking it. And so if you have thicker hair or longer hair, you're also going to want to roll to the end as much as possible, because that will help when you actually go to add in the extension and twist it in. And for the brand that I use, it's in the description below. But yes, you're going to want to go through, and as you're twisting to the end, you also want to be using whatever gel or pomade that you have, just to keep it twisted so it doesn't unravel. And you'll do that all the way to the end, and then you'll also repeat for the second half of the lock. And that's where these fancy clips come in handy, because you'll see that the bottom of that has unraveled a little bit, but the closer you do it to the base of your hair, the closer you clip, the more secure it'll be, and you'll notice that it won't unravel from the top. And then, as I said, you'll just go through and do the same thing for the other side. And when you're done doing that, you will add in the hair. So I just want to say that shout out to all the locticians out there, because this style was not easy, and not in terms of complexity, but in terms of time. This took me about 3 days to do. Granted, I spent about an hour to an hour and a half each time, but it is not a quick style. It definitely took time. So this is where now I'm using 1 piece each. So out of the pack, there is 10 pieces, and I'm using 1 piece each. And once you go through and kind of pre-part your hair, you'll be able to do the math and figure out how many pieces to use, and when you should start doubling it up. And you want to do it especially in the front to make it look thicker and have that fuller twisted look. By the end of the style, I had used 6 of the 8 packs. So I definitely could have started adding more hair sooner, but I only did it in the front. And as I was saying, this style is not for the weak, not because it's complex, because I know there's people who aren't really good at braiding or aren't really good at doing cornrows, but just because it's so time consuming. And then when it does come to adding in the hair, you have to be very careful in terms of which direction to twist in, because the whole thing could unravel. So what I've read is that if you roll your hair, if you roll the lock to the right, then when you go to twist, you'll twist to the left. I suck at twisting to the left, so I always made sure I try to lock to the left so that I could twist the hair to the right. For whatever reason, I kept getting confused, but I was able to figure out a way that if I did twist to the right, sorry, if I did lock to the right, I wouldn't have to twist to the right. And that just means kind of wrapping the extension around the hair in the other direction. So if you look closely, this is how I added in the extension. So I would put in one piece first and then wrap my actual hair around it just to anchor it and secure it. And then that's when I would take off the clip on the other side and do the same thing. And this is kind of where, especially because I was not looking in the mirror, it got a little bit tricky because I was just literally feeling around. And sometimes if you have some hairs that you've done already or hair that you've kind of clipped off to the side, it could get tangled in there. So that's why I was just feeling around to make sure that I don't have any loose hairs anywhere that could end up in it. And I also did lose the lock for the other side, but this is where you'll see that I also kind of did twist it over. And so if you do twist in the wrong direction, like I said, it's just like if you were starting a box braid, you will just take the extension and you'll wrap it around the base of the hair. Now, when you do that, you are adding more tension onto your hair. So you'll see here I have it very tightly and I'm basically wrapping it around a few times just so I can get it in the direction I want it to go in. Because if you don't anchor it like that, then your real hair, your lock will start to unravel. And after I twist it around a few times, I feed in the second piece of hair, and feeding in the same thing. You want to keep just, you want to add it in and kind of twist it around the hair that is already there first. And I started actually clipping off the base of my hair because it was pulling on my hair. So we don't want too much tension. You want to do that so it doesn't pull on the hair. And here it is again, in case you want to see and see it one more time. So I didn't show how I actually end off the twist in the previous clip. So in this one you'll see, but basically you just twist, one twist over the other until you get to the end. And then with this clip, you'll also see how I do the barrel. So I'm going to fast forward through this part just a little bit, just so you can see what it looks like for the actual twisting part. And I'll leave you to watch. Okay, so this is me at 1 a.m. on the third night of trying to complete this, and I'm done. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was times where I was like, I'm just gonna stop, but I was like, no, let me persevere through this and finish it because I know it can be done. And here is up close look of the twists. So I guess next time I could be neater and I could line up the twist some more. This was my first time doing it and I was just trying it out. But I love how it looks and I love the effect and I love the twists even more. And this is how it looks in natural light, and it can be styled many different ways. Here I've kind of flipped the first row on one side over to the next row. You can do a half up, half down. You can tie it in two at the front. There's many different ways to style this. Just be careful not to put too much tension on your real hair. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.